Welcome to Trading Lounge and the indices. And just before we start, I just want to let folks know that we are doing global indices, the top 20 global indices now. So they'll just be daily charts. So we'll be covering these basically the top 20 markets. I mean, that's debatable as well, but basically we'll be covering these on a sort of daily charts to start with, and then we'll build up from there. So a new service there, and yeah, so that's that. And what I want to do with the indices today as we start, I just want to have a look at all the indices straight up in terms of fitting them all into this particular count here. Now, different indices can behave in different ways, but in a general sense, they kind of all have much the same turning points along the way. Now, some markets can extend further, some can correct further, some can consolidate in correction further, but basically these tops and bottoms here are pretty much in line with everything. So with the S&P here, this is a weekly chart. We'll be looking at some of them on 2 days or weeklies or dailies, whatever. But what I always wanted to point out, so you've got a bit of a grip on your particular indice and how it sort of fits in with the rest of the indices. So in the nutshell here, we're looking at 1 and 2. And then 5 waves on the S&P going up to wave 3 here. So we're going to tie all the indices into this particular wave 3 up here. And as you know, we've called a low in, and we've been counting to the upside here, so we'll continue to do that. But this is sort of where we are here. So we've got 3 and then 4 and then 5 for a larger 1 and 2 here. Now, there is the possibility that this could be the top of the market, but I don't think that's the case. I just think we'll have a corrective pattern across the 5,000 here, because in a way this is actually 5 is the second strongest number in the market, and we're talking trading level stuff now. So really this is the arrival over here, this is the reaction, and this is the 5 waves up for the first high above the level. So in a way we can look at it like this here: the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, a correction, and then we go off again. So there's only 3 patterns that really occur at levels, and this, in the bigger picture, this is what we can be looking at here. But there'll be Elliott people that will have this is the top of the market and this is the end of the world here again, all that sort of stuff. So of course, they could be right, but we'll just work through this particular pattern through here, and it could come deeper down here. We always look, you always look for the 50-60% retracement level, which would be here, which is obviously good support at this point. Anyway, we'll work through all of that a little bit later. It doesn't really it's not a huge deal at this particular point in time, but yeah, we'll be still working with this number here. So when we're looking at the S&P, we're looking at this blue wave 3 up here. So when we have a look at the NASDAQ, it's the same as well, this blue wave 3 up here. Okay, slightly different count down here, and many of the markets that we're looking at, they've all had this low down here roughly around this particular time, but they've all had different sort of stories as they get off the ground here. The S&P had a bit of a banking issue here, pulled it down a bit further, so it's got a different count than the NASDAQ here. But just to point out, we're going up to this wave 3 here. I left out the Russell, sorry about that, and that's got a completely different count as well, so that's kind of way left field. I mean, those Russell stocks, find it, they're smaller markets, and find it hard with financing and costing and those sorts of things with inflation. So the DAX here, so we're also looking up to this wave 3 here for this. So we've got a larger wave 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 going up here for this wave 3. And we'll have a look at this trend here in a bit of detail. It will obviously play out across the 19 here in the short term before pushing up further. But basically, this is what, this is really what we're looking at how far does that reach the 20,000. I don't know, we'll just need to count that. Then we'll have wave 4 coming into play, then wave 5 here, then we'll have an ABC pattern coming into play here. How far that comes back, don't know. We need just to count the structure. We can do projections until the cows come home, but basically we need to just keep our feet on the ground and stay with reality and count the structure as we go. But in a nutshell, we're just looking at the bigger picture here today for this. Now the FTSE, when we go to the FTSE, it's got a different kind of a, and the Aussie that we look at, kind of a bit weird and different, but basically this basically the same. I mean, this low down here before 2023 and as such is this one here, and in this case we're going to look at this as wave 1 over here now, with an ABC for wave 2 here, and then build it up as 1 and 2 here. This is actually on a daily chart, so it looks a little bit different here. But I need to tie it into this wave 3 over here, because if those other markets have a big pullback, it's highly likely the FTSE can do its own thing. We know that, but on big moves, it will be, it will fall into line with the other markets. So this is how we're looking at this one. So we do need a top to play out here for this, and we'll look at all. We've been looking at all this count anyway. We've got long trades in here, so basically we'll be looking at 4 and 5 up here, and then a sort of a larger ABC pattern to come into play with this at some point, and we can look at all of that. So now we need to. This is a little bit different, but the turning points down here and here are all the same. And then when we look over to the Aussie, which is also a little bit like the FTSE as well, we also need to tie it into this wave 3 over here. I'm having a little bit of difficulty doing that, but I know that the 8,000 here is going to sort of play out, as a strong sort of magnet towards the pricing here. And once again, this is where it first arrived up here, and then it's had its correction. So we're looking for 5 waves in this particular move here. That's what we've got to what we have to do. And maybe I don't have it right. So we've had our arrival here. It was a little bit short here, but we've had our reaction, and we always count 5 waves up here. So it's normally wave 3, 4 and 5 up here across a main level here for this. And then we need to sort out this, but basically it needs to migrate from being resistance to support over here, and this is where we are at the moment with this. So I'll go back in our stocks video today. We had a close look at the SPY and the QQQ and the S&P and the NASDAQ on an intraday level, but we'll quickly go back over those, and we'll look into the DAX and the FTSE and the Aussie to see where they are and how our long trades are going. Okay, we'll start with the S&P, and we're just going to go into the intraday now. So we're going to go pick it up on this low of wave 4 here. So from the weekly chart here, I'm just going to go into the intraday. I use tick charts here for this. So this is this wave 4 here for this. So we've been looking at this as wave 1 to the upside and wave 2 here. And then we've been looking at this as wave 3. Now the CPI figures obviously have given this a bit of a push up. I haven't read the news yet, and we've got employment figures that are coming out in the next session as well, so they could create volatility, and anything could come out of the gate, of course. Yeah, so it's not so much about the number, it's the expectation and all those sorts of things. So, but basically here we've got 1 and 2, and we're looking for wave 3 here. So we're looking for this wave 3 top here, and we'll just extend this up here. So in this case here, we can look at this as 1 and 2. Do I have any? I could just hijack these little guys here. So I've had to extend this out. But if you've seen the stocks video, then you'll kind of know where we are with this situation anyway. So, but we'll just quickly go back over it. So the 5,300 is really important. It's the top of minor group 1 of 5,000 in terms of the trading levels. So we can expect to be here a little while in terms of some type of corrective pattern here. We still need to go up further to finish this off here. And we've got this as a wave 1 and wave 2 up there. So that's what we're looking for at this point, at this stage. So we'll be looking at something like this before moving up. Now, there is the other possibility here now, because this is extended up here, of looking at this as a third wave going up here. I might just go to the SPY here. It's a little bit sort of cleaner here. So just to explain, this is the wave 4 here. So we've got wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and been working up for 3, 4, 5. So it's all pretty sort of nice, and we don't have to sort of worry about anything at this particular point. But what I was thinking, in terms of this particular trend here, because I'm thinking that do we need to rebuild this? Do we need to rebuild this impulse wave? And that means that we would look at this as wave 1 here instead of this wave 1 up here, because what we're looking for here is we're looking for, do I have a wave 5 up there? But no, let's just grab that and convert that into a wave 5 here. And so between blue wave 4 and blue wave 5 here, we're basically looking for 5 waves to the upside, So I was looking at this being wave 1 and 2 up here, and then going up for wave 3, 4 and 5 up here for that, so that would give us our 5 waves up here. Just it's a bit of a rough drawing, but the other way to do it is to look at this here as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. So we could build this here as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2, and then this one here would be 3, 4, 5 here for the third wave, the fourth wave, and the fifth wave. And we put this fifth wave here, and we put this third wave here, and this fourth wave here, and this fifth wave here. So today I'm just sort of shooting the breeze on that a little bit, just to point out it could be viewed like that, but I won't move there and make it official at this point, because I need to bring the stock market into it, the stocks into it that are leading to the upside. So, but I just wanted to point that out a little bit, that we may need to redo this particular structure here. So there'll be a little bit more thought on that. So this is the same for, of course, for the NASDAQ as well. So I'll just cut through into this chart here. So we talked about this in the stocks video this morning. So we'll update, over the days ahead, as we do the video every day, we'll just keep working it. So at this stage we've had wave 4 here with 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and going up for 5 of 3 and 4, and then up for 5 for 1 and back for 2 here. So that's one way to do it. The other way is to bring this wave 1 all the way down here and rebuild this a little bit differently. So this wave 1 here, this wave 1 would go to here, and in fact this wave 1 could go over here for this. So I want to see how all this develops a little bit first, so I will know when it comes out in the wash here. But it is extending up, and that telling me that this is behaving more like a third wave. Yes, we're in a third wave of 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and we're in this third wave here. I get it, but I can see that there's a possibility for something else, so I need to keep an eye on that. It doesn't matter at this stage. The bigger picture is long in stocks and long in indices. It just depends on if you've got leverage in futures contracts or CFDs, or the SPY and no leverage and those sort of things. So that's why this is just the triple Q here. So it's the same thing as well. We've got wave 1 up here, 1 and 2, so we can look at this a little. We can. I'll put this back to where I had it yesterday. It was just that today I was talking about bringing wave 1 into this space here, but nice and clean. So we still need to move up whichever way we're going to be looking at this here for this, and then we'll be going up again. So yeah, so this will play out around the 450 here. So over the next 2 sessions I'll be able to verify which count we will need. So I'm just sort of bringing in a new bullish. At least both counts are in the same direction, so that's nice. It's not like one's bearish and one's bullish. They're both bullish, so that's good. And then we come over to the Russell here, the ETF here. So we'll play it out much the same as well. So as you can see here with the triple Q coming up to wave 3, 4 and 5 here, and then pulling back. So this is what we'll look at here as well. We still need that top here to come into play here for this market. So kind of Yeah, I mean, I could put a top in already, but I might need to. There may be some other little sort of couple more little tops here, but we'll expect wave 4 to come and then wave 5, and then we'll look for an ABC pattern and then up again at that point. So yeah, but like I said, we can put a top in on. I don't like to put it on spikes. I'm thinking this is 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think we've got to go up a little bit further here for this. So yeah, still to the upside. So it'll be interesting to see how those employment figures come out. Do we have any ADP figures today? Normally come out on the Wednesday, and I'll check. They're normally a prelude to the other figures, so that's that. And then we come over to the DAX, and yeah, so we need to pick it up from this wave 4, and I think we're cruising in. I'll just check because I know that we're all looking at different charts here. It doesn't really matter, but this is the same thing as well. We're coming up to wave 3, ABC for 4 here and 5. Now, will we reach the 19 up here? I don't know. I mean, it certainly looks like wave 1 and 2 here, doesn't it? So we could label this as 1 and 2 in here without too much problem. And then this has got a bit of overlap here. It's a little bit difficult to label this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like another 1 and 2 here and 1 and 2 here. So it's struggling a little bit. I could put wave 3 here and wave 4 here. This would be the most conservative count, and wave 5 up there, and that still needs to play out here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. But yeah, we've got overlap here, so I mean 8's a big number, you know, we might need to sort of suck that up a little bit, but I reckon we probably need to stretch it out. There's a good chance for it to reach the 19 up at that point, because I think the Asian market, the Asian session is going to be up, so you're going to see the futures push up as well there, but that's pretty much where the DAX is. So we're going to see a bit of a dance across the 19 here, and once again it'll be a pattern like this here. Then we come over to the FTSE, and yeah, so we're looking at this move to the upside here, and mainly this stretch up through here, and I can have that on this chart, intraday chart, I think. So what we need to do here a little bit is, I can count this a little bit differently, but I've got to kind of bring it into the other one. So we were looking at wave, I think I've still got to bring wave 3 over here a bit. I mean, our trade really was to take some money off here and take some money off here, so it'll play out across the 8.5 here. I'm just going to clean this up here a little bit. Let me just remove these here. I just don't think this wave 4's in here just yet, you know. I think we've still got to go up here for this. May have one more little move down, because I'm thinking of this as a little ABC pattern, so a 3, 4, 5 to finish that third wave off, and then this one here, and then this one. So I think it's a bit like this. I'm just going to bring that back over here. I'm sorry about that, but it doesn't matter. It's just still going to push up here. So I'll just leave it at that. But this is where we want to be taking money off the table at this point. And yeah, so I can count this up here a little bit differently, but I need to bring it into the other markets as well. So I'll just leave that, and then we come over to this market, and we're just really interested in this little move to the upside here. So I'm just going to cut into the intraday, and doing that, we're looking at this in terms of pretty much the same as, this is the same as the other markets. So you know, if I was looking at the triple Q here, and we're looking at, I'll just remove this here for a moment, and we're looking at this wave 1 up here, we're looking at 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, and the fourth and the fifth. So we want to look at the Australian market in the same way as well. I mean, I don't normally do this, but it's kind of good if you can get them to fit. So this is 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and we've had this as wave 3 here. We had a bit of a deep wave 4 here, but we stayed with that, and so on. So we've just seen it basically push up. So we're heading up into this wave 3 here, and the platform's just resetting at the moment. It must be 8 o'clock my time. So yeah, so 1 and 2 here going up for wave 3s, normally come in around the previous tops, the 4s and the 5s here, and then for this to play out here, then a wave 4 to come into play here as well. So we certainly want to be looking to taking, you know, a good chunk of it off. Anywhere above this high would do the job, and yeah, then there'll be wave 4 here, and so we've got this, some sort of corrective move across here. How far that it can pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, but there's plenty of support right on that point there. That's 7752, 7752, close enough, and then we'll see a push to the upside here. So in a way, a bit of a classic trading levels pattern across the top of minor level 8 here of group 2. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the pullback, and then up again at this point. And then that should give us a bit of a top in here at some point. How far would we get to the 8,000 to get that top in there? That's the question at this point. Yeah, anyway, look, taking some money off anywhere sort of coming into 78.30, 78.30 to 50, yeah, I don't know. I mean, where's that top there? Where does that sit? 23. Yeah, look, I think 8.30 to 8.32 or something would be about right for this, taking some money off the table at this point. And unless you want to hold it through all of this, and you'll end up, you know, much higher up here. But yeah, well, I'll leave that with you. So basically, in a nutshell, we've got 1, 2 going all the way up here for 3, 4, and 5 up here. So yeah, that's where that is. Alrighty, sorry for such a long tour around everything, but I think we've covered it on the bigger picture and the smaller picture, so that's nice. Alrighty, cheers.